this episode of Ranger Touring. I'm going to be doing a review today on the ARB Flinders rooftop tent, which is this one here. So I've had this on my car for about 6 months now. It's been away on numerous trips and I've probably slept in it for pretty close to a month now. So I've got a bit of an understanding of the perks of it, what I would change, what I have changed, and I'll be able to provide a bit of a recommendation as to whether this is the rooftop tent for you. So why would you go this rooftop tent over some others? Okay, so this was pretty much the only rooftop tent that worked perfectly for the situation that I wanted. I have a wild track which has this sort of spoiler thing on the back here, and unfortunately that takes up your usable space. And what would happen is if I want a bigger rooftop tent, it would actually hang over the back, and then it would obviously extrude the back there. But when I go to access my drawers and stuff like that, or my tub lid, I would be hitting it on the rooftop tent. So I went something that fit perfectly on the tub itself. I was looking at hardtop rooftop tents because I wanted a rooftop tent that would be really quick to set up. However, this is the next best thing. The biggest reason for going this style rooftop tent, apart from the fact that it fit perfectly on my tub, was the fact that it has a zip here for the canvas. Now, I've seen my mates set up their rooftop tent before, and they had one of the standard ones where you remove the bag and then you got to stash it down by the side. Watching them trying to fold it up the next morning was pretty painful. So I wanted something that was a little bit quicker to fold up. Looking at some of the dimensions of it. So widthways, it's 1400 mil by 1200 mil, and then without the ladder, it sits at 200 mil. Once you tack the ladder on, which it is currently sitting on, it sits at 300 mil. The rooftop tent weighs 54 kilos and then add an extra 4 kilos for the ladder. So it's got a 50 mil mattress, which is pretty firm, I will say. It's not a very soft 50 mil. And the perks of it as well, you get a 3-year warranty nationwide. Now, I do believe that is only if you buy it straight from ARB. If you buy it secondhand, I don't know how well that holds up. So I'll give you a quick demo on how to unfold the rooftop tent, and I'll give it a timer as well. So starting here, you pull the base out like that, and then undo the Velcro on both sides, pulling out this strap here. Once you've done that, reach over and unzip the canvas. Whilst you're on this side, you may as well undo the little tab holding it down and pull that through. Go around to the other side. I jump up on the tire just to make that a little bit easier, and then continue to pull the strap. Continue to unzip the canvas, and it's all free. Fold it over again on this side and undo the tab. Jump up, unclip the ladder, take off this little strap at the base, and then extend the ladder. From there, you can pretty much do it with one hand. And then pull the rooftop tent out towards you. From there, you got to push these little tabs in on either side of the ladder just to lower the height down. So you got it flat. Once you got it flat, it'll look something like this. So it's got these little tabs held down. From there, you're gonna climb up. Already got the front open. Climb in. See my sleeping gear. You got these poles here. You're then going to push them out. I do that by grabbing the top of the bar, pushing out evenly, and then securing the latch like that. And then you got a lot of these tie down tabs. You just take them off. And you got to do the same thing with this back pole to push that out as well. That's almost your overnight setup done. You then got the pole bag. If you just want to do a quick setup, you reach out, hook that in there, and insert it in the hole at the base. And you were done. So just to do the basic setup without doing the windows, that was 4 minutes while still explaining the video. So it's a pretty quick rooftop tent to set up. Obviously you can do up all the windows and do that properly. So what are the modifications and changes that I've made to the rooftop tent? So firstly, I replaced the ladder. The ladder that comes with the rooftop tent is only fixed at one height. And it works perfectly if it's actually on the top of your roof, it'll probably be the perfect height. But considering mine sits a bit lower on the tub, it didn't line up perfectly. I did drill additional holes so it would have a second lockout height, but unfortunately for that as well, if you're on uneven ground, you do sometimes need those single adjustments. So a telescopic ladder is definitely a worthy investment. The next change I made was the straps. Once you've folded it over, you pull down on the straps to make sure it sits nice and tight. Those straps were Velcro, and after a while of trying to pull it really tight with my sleeping gear inside, it actually started to fray the Velcro. I ended up replacing that with some tie-down straps, which have been doing a really good job, and they hold the pressure a lot better. The third thing I've done to the rooftop tent was buy a mattress topper. It's one of those eggshell style ones that just has the grooves in it, and I've cut it just to fit the upper body portion. So I don't really need my legs to be that comfortable, but as long as my back is laying on the comfortable part, I'm happy with that. The mattress is pretty hard. I really can't stress that enough. It's a pretty uncomfortable mattress if you don't like a firm bed. So a topper makes it a lot more beneficial. I'm gonna go through and dispel any rumors regarding the rooftop tent. All right, does it leak? No, it has not leaked on me once since I've got it, and we've been in some pretty torrential downpours. Is there condensation in the morning? Yes, there is. Condensation goes all over the poles and has dripped down on me once or twice before. Quick fix for that is obviously just open the windows where possible, and you only get that when it's in really cool climates. How many people does it comfortably sleep? I would say it comfortably sleeps 2 people. We have had enough space to put our bags at our feet, but I'm under 6 foot, so maybe for a longer person, that wouldn't work as well for them. But definitely comfortably 2 people. Is it easier to set up than a swag? Yes, it is. It is much easier, faster, and less effort than setting up the swag. I used to put my swag on the roof. I don't have to do that anymore, and this is a lot quicker. Next commonly asked question is, can you put your sleeping gear in it? So yes and no. I have a mattress topper on mine, and I can put about 3 pillows in there and I'm fine. I have a pretty large, thick sleeping bag, and when I put that in, I actually damaged the rooftop tent because the seam split. Now that was when I used to have the Velcro pulling it down, but I would say you can fit small bedding in there. If you go into a summer location and you just need a small doona and some pillows, 100%. If you're going away into the winter and you've got big, thick sleeping bags and lots of gear, I would say the answer is no. What are the biggest perks about this rooftop tent over others? So firstly, I'd say that the ventilation is exceptional. When you open this thing up, you can really get a lot of windows open. It even has a sky roof, which is pretty cool. A pretty unique feature that a lot of rooftop tents don't have. So what are the biggest pros for the rooftop tent? It's definitely a really large interior once you set it up. The space is exceptional in there for us, and for larger people who worry about hitting their toes on the end, you're not going to have that problem in here. Another really good benefit is all the ventilation. Having a sky roof, having windows on every direction is exceptional, especially if you're camping in the summer where it's a bit hot and you need a bit of airflow. Perfect rooftop tent for you. I'd also say another benefit is the setup time. It's pretty quick, and for overnighters, it's been really good for our trips. It's sped our setup a lot and a lot quicker than setting up a swag. It's one of the very few rooftop tents that uses this canvas bag and zip system, and I've found it a lot quicker and a lot less painful to pack up than some of the other rooftop tents. I'd say it's a little bit lighter and a bit more streamlined than most rooftop tents. It probably sits about 10 kilos lighter than most, sitting in that low 50s range. As well as that too, it's definitely a lower profile rooftop tent if you've got no sleeping equipment in it. So what are the biggest cons about this rooftop tent? I'd say one of the biggest cons is this material here, which is all the flaps, does not dry off very quickly. It takes a while in the morning for the condensation and the water to run off it. You really have to shake it out, and you always pretty much after a cold night have to set it up when you get back home to let it dry out. I'd say pack up is still not as quick as setup. You really have to get your pillows in the right position and work through a few things. I'd say pack up is probably a minute or two longer than setup. I'd say the setup on this is very quick for a rooftop tent, if you're not going obviously a clamshell style or something like that. Honestly, apart from that though, that's probably the really only big con. It's proved to be quite a robust rooftop tent. So I'll go through the cost. The rooftop tent is about 1,600 bucks from ARB. I did find this on Marketplace for 1,200 and it was practically new. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So the big question, would I buy this rooftop tent again? I would probably look for different rooftop tents that would fit on my tub rack and fit over that same sort of space. But I think I would probably arrive at the same conclusion. It was the only one that ticked 90% of the boxes while still fitting really well and not for a ridiculous price. I've had a look at some other rooftop tents, but they are the soft top, classic style ones. They might have a bit more space, they might have a comfier mattress, but unfortunately they just sit a bit over the top and they're a little bit slower to set up. So I think that's been the biggest deterrence for me.